Welcome to Divine Purpose Podcast with your host, Daniel and
Patrice Myers. In this podcast, you will be introduced to the 3 C's:
comedy, conversations, and community. Join the discussion with fellow entrepreneurs, community activists,
with our major focus on the beauty of family in our community. Episodes drop every Tuesday. Whether inspirational or ratchet, all conversations have a divine purpose. So do I say corny or do you say corny?
You wrote it.
Welcome to the Divine Purpose Podcast with your host, Patrice and Daniel Myers. This podcast is brought to you by RMJ Financial Services, which is a financial wellness organization based in the DC metropolitan area. Our mission is to educate our community on the importance of financial wellness. We help our clients with services such as budgeting, investing, living benefits, and retirement funding. To learn more about our services, visit us at www.rmjfinancialservices.com. Follow us on all social media platforms at RMJ Financial Services. And to schedule a free consultation, email us at info@rmjfinancialservices.com. So we started off this episode, tried to start it off with a theme song for some special people. Ari Lennox, New Apartment.
New Apartment.
Listen.
You know the song? I know the song. I just got a new apartment.
That is definitely not how it goes. I'm going to send it to you.
I was just about to be insulted. I was about to be like,
How don't sound like that?
Good thing I know how Ari sounds.
Right, it's not how Miss Ari sounds.
A little apartment.
But
Sorry, Ari. Sorry.
part of the reason why I started off with that song is because when I think about you guys and the real estate moguls you are, I was like, what you guys do is provide people with homes and new apartments. And when you walk into your new apartment, you feel this way. And the description of how she feels in that song, I'm almost certain everybody probably plays that song when they get their new place from you guys. Yeah. So I'm gonna let Daniel do a formal introduction and then we'll bring you in.
I'm responsible for doing the formal introduction for the Nelsons.
Yeah.
So sit back on your seats, because here we have two good friends of ours that we've known. Man, we go back years and years, 20 plus years between me and Goose. And Tanesia is just like family. So these are the Nelsons. They are real estate investors. They are just entrepreneurs. They are awesome husband and wife team. They are a partnership, and they inspire us to be great. And the purpose of this show is to bring people on the show and serve and show light to the people that are servicing our communities. And one of our biggest things that we talk about is you don't have to make a big impact by being Dr. Martin Luther King or Malcolm X. The first thing you have to do is start with yourself and start with your family, and your family affects the community, and that's how you see change. So we see the baby in the background right there. So you always have your family around. So it's always family first. So without further ado, I would like for you, the Nelsons, to introduce who you are to the audience and why you're so freaking important.
Well, hello all, and thank you. We're quite honored to be on the show. I'm James.
Tanesia.
And this is the middle little, as we call her, Aiden Nelson.
The middle little.
Nelson Properties and Acquisitions.
Mm-hmm.
We are important because, like our song says, we turn our house into your home. So we love providing a shelter for those who may need it. And it being developing it in the community or teaching the community what we've learned. So we've done that and continue to do it pre-COVID. So we're waiting for COVID over to continue to do what we've been doing.
My dog, hey, COVID, I can tell you haven't been to the barbershop. I know you're in the house, and I can tell you like, hey, listen, I'm doing too good right now to go outside and chance any of this.
Tanesia likes it.
Tanesia, look at her. She's now fingers through your hair.
I haven't been to the barbershop since mid-March. and it shows.
You got the corner of Western going on. You look
Hey, and I
like
got
an
the
author.
right there.
You're showing your wisdom. You're showing your wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before real estate, you guys were just regular married couples.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the beginning because we want to just take people through a journey, right?
Yeah.
So Goose, you started at Clark, Atlanta, right?
No, so I started at Morris Brown. Morris,
Okay.
that was a school in Drumline. They closed down mid-semester.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Oh,
transferred, yeah.
okay. Did you want to go there because of Drumline?
No,
Well, Drumline wasn't out there.
I needed to get away from the city. I wasn't gonna be able to focus on my studies if I stayed in the city.
Right.
Yeah.
Went down to Morris Brown, and the end of that semester, they brought us all in the auditorium and was like, yeah, we're not going to be operating much further. So we're doing an accelerated spring semester. Accelerated meaning the whole spring semester was going to be 8 weeks.
Whoa.
Oh.
So the seniors can graduate. So spring semester for us was done beginning of March, and that was back in DC. So
Oh, wow.
I transferred to Clark, which was right around the corner, and the rest was history. So it was in Clark from 2003 to 2002, fall 2007. Came back home, started MBA program at University of Maryland University College. Gained my MBA there, and been working in the federal government with Dan's mom back then ever since.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
You did work with my mom.
That's right.
And Tanesia, where were you excelling to your higher heights at that time?
Yes.
At that time, excuse me, this one. At that time, I was at University of Maryland.
Oh, okay.
That's where I went. I was close to home.
Uh-huh.
So did a lot of odd jobbing while I was in school. I was a waitress at Jasper's for like 3 years.
She had like 5 jobs.
She's like Jamaican.
I worked at Chick-fil-A because my parents, they were not,
Chick-fil-A.
that's honey. I was my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
I was my pleasure.
It was my pleasure. I've worked at American Eagle. I worked in the cafeteria at Maryland.
Okay.
While I was there.
So you have work ethic.
Yes, I do.
She didn't have a job, y'all. I mean.
So then I ended up working at, ultimately, I ended up working at a law firm, at Finnick Law Firm. So I was there for like 12 years, maybe longer, until 2018 when I came home.
Gave him the deuces.
And so at this time, okay, in the very beginning, when did you guys meet? Was this during, I don't even think I know. Is this during college? Or this was after?
He had just finished college, I think. So yeah, like right after.
We had a party at our friend's house over in Southwest at his house. That's where I met her. I'm like, oh.
Met her at a party.
It was actually his birthday party.
My birthday party.
But he was there because his friend was throwing a birthday party for him. And my friend who lived with his friend was just like, hey, we're having a party, come through.
Was this your male friend?
Yes, my male friend.
Oh.
But like really friend.
Oh.
So
he went girl,
really a friend.
He went to your has those. Our daughters have real friends, like guys that are really their friends that they hang out with, and it's just their friends.
Because he, I guess he was in Atlanta, so I had been at their house all the time for parties. So he didn't say, oh, it's his birthday, because I didn't know him. So he's like, hey, we're having another party, come through. So I'm like, okay, cool, see you then.
And let me tell you something. Goose was known to throw a hell of a party and hell of a cookout. I had to call you Goose for that one, Sir Nelson. But Goose was known, like, one thing about James, which is great, is this guy knows every freaking body in the world. I don't care.
So does this guy.
No, not like him. I think he got me on the dial. He got me beat.
I think he does have you beat.
He has me beat.
I think you do.
But let's talk about those cookouts and where you grew up at in the city.
So again, born and raised in Northeast DC. neighborhood called Riggs Park. So that's between South Dakota Avenue and Riggs Road. Red Park, as they like to tease me and saying with my DC accent. You said where I went to school. What else?
No, I didn't say where you went to school. I mean, we know God is purple. God is purple, so we don't have to talk about school just yet.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna let that one ride.
I mean, what year is it? Is it like
what you say? You said?
So I'm gonna let that ride for right now.
Right now, it's still early. It's still early.
Up there. So
we know you went to St. John's. So.
Yes, SJC. So from there, you know, my friends and I, we came together, and during the summers we would like, man, just do something to get everybody together. So I have friends that went to school in the West, in the South, further north. So we all just came together, started doing cookouts in my grandmother's backyard and during the summers. And we just brought all our friends who we met that lived here locally. And it just got bigger and bigger to the point where we would block off the whole alley and portions of the street and just invite the whole neighborhood, surrounding streets to come out and just everybody just ate for free.
Those cookouts were epic.
It's interesting. You would have thought that one of the businesses that you might have had,
no problem,
would have been like party promoting or something like that. You would have thought you would have went into something like that because of how you guys throw your parties. Like all y'all could have went into promotion. And how did you feel, Tanesia, being with the party man? The guy
party man.
I mean, he wasn't a party man, but the guy that was known to throw these annual get-togethers. Did you feel a lot of pressure?
No, I think I was just kind of in awe because like he said, the fact that they would do it, it would be so many people and they did it for free, which I feel like almost the older I get and the more a dollar has more meaning, that means even more to me now than it did then.
Spending money back then.
Like, like you're just feeding the neighborhood. Like it was a legit block party.
It literally was. For free.
Not like it was like okay, and I think I was more so just in all of that, and then just in all of like the party itself. Like that just wasn't really how I partied. Even now, like I'm not a quantity person. I'm a quality person.
Me too.
So
me too. I prefer intimate get-togethers.
And I remember it was people who
Daniel prefers.
It was people who were my friends who would be attending his party, and I never knew they were going to this. I remember in particular, one of my guy friends saying like, oh, he knew that I was in love with James because he was like, this is not your scene. And I was like, facts.
Oh, because you was actually at the party.
But you handled yourself so well. Like, things we do for love.
Sacrifices constantly.
But she was cool. You wasn't never the awkward girl in the corner. Like you made
because sometimes people don't want to be there, and you actually know they don't want to be there.
Right.
So you did good.
It wasn't like that. It was like, I was cool once I got there. It's just not, if I wasn't dating him, I don't think I'd be like, girl, I got to make it to this block party.
But you know the crazy thing? Let me tell you something.
Me neither. I was not a part of that group. I never knew until I met him. He was like, we going to a block party. Where? The whole block? Where? Why are we in the alley?
But the thing about the block parties is, what's crazy is our circle come from all different places in the city. So when you get that,
we actually called it a cookout. But when I went, it wasn't a cookout. It was spread out onto the block. So I was then very confused. Because then on top of that, if it's a cookout, I'm walking into someone's home and I'm just grabbing a plate. Who's the host? I just want to know someone, please.
I just want to iterate that there were people through all walks of the city in PG County, and Black folks got together and had no problems.
It's true.
Absolutely. Never nothing happened. You're absolutely correct. Do you think it had something to do with the energy in which you guys brought to the event?
I think so. Like my neighbor, people were always saying, I'm shocked your neighbors didn't complain. Well, I invited my neighbors out to eat as well too. So it's like, all right, they not gonna hate if they eating at the same spot too. So
you know what it is.
Everybody bought
You can't leave with a chicken plate and stop be like, hey, go call the police on you. After I eat this chicken wing.
I mean, it helps that some of your friends were the police too. So I mean, who you gonna call the police? Oh, we already know. They eating in the corner over there.
The police is here. No worries.
Plus, you know,
Voice is monitored.
you feed everybody, you're really not gonna get no complaints. I mean, it was just a good energy that everybody there was doing something positive in life, either working, starting their own business, in school. So it was just too much good energy to mess up.
Yeah, that's true.
And the real beautiful thing about that, starting in that neighborhood, is that property end up becoming your first investment, correct? Or that property end up helping you on your journey.
It was the source to our journey, yes.
Okay, so let's go into that.
Yeah.
So how did the block party house end up being actually the start of the Moguls?
NPA. Dun, dun, dun.
So in studying, trying to get into real estate, you got to have funds. So we were first hit with, all right, well, how are we going to fund this new endeavor? So we started researching, listening to podcasts and things of that nature. And first thing we came across was you can borrow from your retirement. And so that's what a lot of people don't know. We've been trained to, just keep contributing to your retirement till you're 65, 75, and then you live off of that. But what about using your retirement to purchase assets so you can, by the time you're 65, you may have already started working 20 years before that, because all these assets now have contributed to paying back your retirement and you living off the profits from your assets.
Yes,
So a lot of people don't think about that.
Okay.
Quick disclaimer, if you're not at all saying spend your retirement if you are not using that retirement on things that will make you happy. That is not the move.
Use your retirement to
very good disclaimer.
Assets, things that are going to make you more money.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we were able to take a loan from our retirement. That's what a lot of people don't know, that you can take a loan from your retirement and you pay yourself the principal and interest back.
And there's no penalty, no tax penalty.
No early withdrawal penalty, anything of that nature. So
you didn't actually take the, wait a minute, hold on. So you didn't actually,
you didn't take the money, you took a loan. So you used your retirement as collateral.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. That's smart. Money, we loaned money from our retirement accounts to fund the first property.
So that's similar to how people use life insurance. Yeah. Your life insurance has the cash value, but you actually take a loan out on the cash value. The cash still stays there, but you took a loan against it.
Same concept.
So these are the things. This is why I love this show, because these are the things why we joke and we laugh. We also people don't know these type of it's important to be able to make people laugh and talk about family and everything, but the way you can feed people and teach people things that they don't know. We're not taught how life insurance works. We're not taught how assets works. We're not taught how your retirement works. We're not taught about anything. So I just learned something from listening to that. Yeah, I'm about to look at my retirement tomorrow.
It's only talked about on the basic level. So you just contribute to your retirement so you can live off of it when you retire. No, that's just only half of it. Your retirement can build you to new heights. You know what I mean? If you're buying assets that are generating funds for you. So that she pulled from hers and I pulled from mine, and we split the down payment on the first property that way.
I love how y'all work like a team.
So going back to, you spoke on the property where I grew up in, that was my grandparents' house. So fortunately, my grandparents had the know-it-all and the babies, well, the youngest one sleep.
Yeah, that's not the youngest.
The middle little.
Yep.
I have to catch myself now. She's not the youngest.
Yeah.
I was turned 18 next week. Listen. I remember having to sweep them and move this slow. Yes. Because if you make one little.
Why is she covering her ears? She's like this. She's going like this.
Oh, snap. Let me tell you something. Tanesia.
Right now.
Let me tell you something. I don't, what? They're 8. Enough.
They're still my buddies.
No, they're.
Oh, you should have seen how they left the house tonight.
Oh, yeah.
It fucked me all the way up.
I thought you guys were going to to someone's grandmother's house for dinner?
They are.
What's this outfit?
Yo, so their friend is having a birthday dinner. One of the dancers, it's her birthday tonight.
Yeah, one of my babies.
So all these little girls, we've been around for so long, and now they're all turning 18. So she has a birthday, and the girl's birthday is next week. They have a birthday dinner, so they get dressed up.
And
I'm in this joint making the tail fire. I'm sitting listening to music. I don't know if it's funny.
with a sweater dress on.
You like my outfit, Daddy? I said, oh.
Sweater dress and some heels.
Hey, Slim. Oh,
I'm not ready.
it hurt my soul. She looked so good, but I'm like, oh no.
She looks beautiful. Then Kiara comes down
Oh.
and she has this other kind of cute little sassy look.
Has
She
a
had
little
on
stomach
jeans
out
and
and-
she had a little crop top, and then she put on this little big furry black jacket
Oh,
with it
my
that was
God.
cropped. So then she was just chic with her
She was,
jeans.
so I'm looking at her in the mirror, just look at herself.
She's so chic.
And they both looked amazing, and they're 18 next week.
They're not my little buddies anymore.
I'm really
No.
still stuck on them taking Uber, and what was that?
You remember that. You
So
remember
I got past that, so I can't participate in this made-up conversation.
That's actually a funny story. That's a funny story.
Oh my God. Yes, I think, what was it? The last time we
We was having a dinner party or something, right?
I came over for dinner.
And we were like,
We're like,
where the
Uber?
twins? Oh, they catching the Uber.
Uber.
Who's old enough to do this?
Right.
8-year-olds? No.
They're definitely not 8.
At the time, they were not 8.
Yeah, it messes me up
Forever.
sometimes.
Forever.
Not ready. But yeah, so my grandparents' house,
Mhm.
where all the block parties and hangouts in the basement took place.
Mhm.
So fortunately, my grandparents had the wherewithal to do a will and power of attorney and things of that
Yeah.
nature. So
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough through conversations I had with my grandfather as he got ill, asking me, hey, look, are you going to be able to take care of the house when I'm gone? Because your grandmother won't be able to do it. And if you can't, I'm going to sell the house. So this was at the age of 11, 12. I had to make the decision like, okay, yeah, I'm going to help take care of the house. And Dan could tell you some nights early on, like in high school, I can't go with y'all. You know, my grandfather was about
Yeah, you take care of his grandpa, man.
I'm afraid my grandfather gonna fall, and my 5'4" grandmother can't pick up a 6'3" man.
Wow.
That's why I've always respected Goose, man, because while like a lot of us run the streets and going to go-go's and just in and out all over the fucking city, just doing whatever, Goose would be like, I can't go today. You know what I mean? And he's always had a heart of giving and a heart of service. And I've always respected that about you, man. So I'm truthfully, like where you are and where your wife is and where your family is probably, I mean, not probably, it's well deserving because you've, man, from that age to be able to serve and can't do what all us is doing. And that's why we're still friends to this day, man, because you've always had a genuine heart, bro. And it's just like, we're here to show you guys, you know what I mean? And it's genuine.
So from that conversation with my grandfather and just ensuring him that when he goes on, I'm going to be taking care of the house. So
Wow.
past, you know, it was me and my grandmother, and I took care of the house like I promised I would. And when I got my license, drove her to the grocery store. I would go grocery shopping and do things around the house, the garden, and cook sometimes and things of that nature. So they left me the house upon my grandmother dying. And so from there, I learned that we could take equity from something called a HELOC. A HELOC is an acronym for Home Equity Line of Credit. You can use the HELOC to fund things. And so in the real estate world, through other investors, I learned that you can use the HELOC as a down payment on other properties. So knowing that, I still own the property. I pulled half of the equity in the house because it's completely paid off. So I pulled half of the equity in the house, and that equity afforded us to purchase the second single family house. And then the third deal was the apartment building. So we were able to use those funds to purchase those 2 properties.
So, okay, so I guess I want to know, like, what made you guys even decide to go this route? with real estate? Who introduced you to this? What was your, I guess, who were your mentors that you looked at that told you use this property to do this next step?
How we came about it, I think, was just from like me and my love of HGTV, and then him, and I think there was an actual book he was reading around that time about, just kind of the fact that even people who make money, however you make your money, football, music, you're an engineer, whatever, you've made money, to keep it, people always put their money in real estate.
Oh, okay.
It was just kind of one of those things where we were like, that definitely needs to be something that we do.
Right. The book she's talking about, it was The Millionaire Next Door.
That's
I read that book when I was interning, and it always stuck in me. It changed my mindset about money and how to deal with it. And it spoke on real estate and how people don't live flashy and things of that nature.
Yeah,
so
man.
From there, when her love of HDTV 24/7, we just started having that conversation. And then from
Flip this house, all that stuff.
The Millionaire Next Door is a great book, man, because The Millionaire Next Door dispels the myth that most of, like, if you've never been around people with money, you just only think of a millionaire from based off what you see on TV.
Yeah.
So when you read The Millionaire,
everything you see on TV.
yeah. So when you read The Millionaire Next Door, like one of the chapters was saying that most of the millionaires drive Toyota Camrys or Jeep Cherokees, and he's just living a normal life, and they could be living next door to you with the plethora and the ability to do whatever. But we see the flashy gold and the watches and the chains, and we think that's what a millionaire looks like. But that book, for me also, it just dispelled the myth, and it really makes you take a seat back, like, things are just things at the end of the day. So what is your money really doing for you? If you're getting all the flash, it's almost like you're just feeding your own ego.
Yeah.
And The Millionaire Next Door teaches you to be humble with whatever you're blessed with, and you're actually using it to bless others. You know what I mean?
If you live below your means, that means you're reducing your expenses, and you don't have to have all the like, heck, I haven't bought Jordan. I used to love Jordans and the foams. I had to sacrifice. We wanted to get this house. So in order to get the house we live in now, I stopped spending on tennis shoes like I was. I gave up my tickets to the Washington football team. I had season tickets.
Hey, yo, I miss those tailgates.
I mean, we used to spend some money back in the day, but
I know. We used to have a lot of arguments.
We
I
weren't.
come home. Hey, listen, I'll come home. Like, hey, listen, Monday morning, I look at my bank account like, hey,
what were we doing?
First of all,
we didn't have that knowledge. You know what I mean?
We didn't know
that. Like, all that we were told were to go to work, save, buy a house. You know what I mean? That was it.
But
honestly, for me, The Millionaire Next Door actually made me even consider money differently, because whenever I thought about millionaires, I thought about people that I didn't actually like. I didn't like their lifestyle. I didn't like the way that they lived. And I was like, I'm not interested in having that kind of money because it makes you be this type of person. Mm-hmm. So when I actually read The Millionaire Next Door, honestly, 3 years ago, is when I was like, oh, money isn't. Oh, so there's actually somebody living next door to me that I didn't even know they were a millionaire, and I like them. So, okay, so money doesn't change who you are. That's just the exact TV show.
You're not out there pouring champagne on bitches. Yeah.
So that's what I always equated that to money. So a lot of what me and Daniel's money story is me understanding
the value
not the value of money, but that money doesn't make you nasty or like
doesn't define you.
Yeah, money doesn't define you, and doesn't make you this person that's over the top and you don't connect to the world and stuff like that. Like, so he had to take that out of my mind because I was like, I don't need money.
Yeah, I don't need money. I'm like, oh, yeah, we do.
This person, he was like, yes, we do, and I was like, no, we don't. We happy here.
Literally.
So we had to redo all of that.
You know how many arguments we had just about the concept of money in our house?
Honestly, it was huge. It was a big deal.
I do know.
You do. Because look, Goose is always my voice of reason. I'll be like, Goose, listen.
It was hard, but and even watching people like you guys move and the things that you guys were beginning to do with real estate now at mogul status, like it made me realize
talk
morning when I wake up, so just so I can get some
Patricia
like
giving us all the vote of confidence.
I'm like, real fast.
Good morning, Tanesia, Nelson Mogul. What are you working on today to build that empire?
No, it's whatever.
You know, mogul shit.
But no, honestly, you guys made me realize, like, oh, I really like y'all. I like your personalities. Y'all haven't changed. Doing every step that you guys made, every property that you bought, you guys never changed. And that made me look like that's when I was telling Daniel, like, okay, we can go.
She said, I guess we could get some money.
All right, fine, let's get this money.
Yes. But truthfully, that transition honestly only happened in less than a year. It's been less than a year.
Yep. But you know, another thing with us, and that's why I want to get back to y'all, like, I have always had the notion of hustle. So I know how to make money, but I be working so hard and scrambling so much to make money. So back to real estate, the reason why real estate is so important is because you really don't, you gotta.
How do you feel about people saying that?
You have to do your due diligence.
You don't really hustle with real estate, but
you're making money in your sleep, so to say.
I think what the thing is with real estate is you hustle, you do what you want to do. Like if we wanted to have our properties, pay a property manager, pay an assistant, like, not that I'm saying we could afford all that. I'm just saying, if that was how we set things up, then we could just kind of be doing not much and making money. But because we manage our own properties. We're the maintenance people. We're the people that, if somebody's going over there to clean the vents, I'm over there meeting them. We're letting somebody in when they get locked out. We're meeting people before Thanksgiving to make sure they get their keys. We're all types of things that we do directly.
Right.
So I think what Dan is saying is true. It's just a choice. It just depends on, like, I would like to at some point be at a place where maybe 5-10 years from now, we aren't necessarily doing it all. But right now we do it all. So for that reason, it's a hustle. Like right now, he spent all day yesterday, one of our properties that we manage. So not one we own, we just manage it. They have a tenant cycling out, so we have to cycle a new tenant in. We just put everything online yesterday. It's work to write everything up, get everything online. And then we literally had like 50 people emailing, calling, like it was literally all day while I'm doing virtual school with the girls. He's doing 9 to 5 work. People are calling, people are emailing, like
you're handling all of that stuff.
It was a day.
We still answered all their emails and all their voicemails within that same day.
Wow.
That's work. So that's a different type of
place now where it's easy, but one day I hope it will be. And I think having this, which is what I agree with Dan, it's a choice we can make one day.
You know, the beautiful thing about it is, okay, when you do get to your true mogul status and someone is doing this for you, you've done the work. So it attributes us back to like when we was back when we were selling juices, right? We knew the formula, we knew how much, I knew how much produce I had to get. So at one point we were paying somebody to make our juices. And he was like, I don't have enough. And I'm like, no, I've done this with this formula I've given you. I've done this 1,000 times.
Exactly.
And it's this amount of pineapples is going to make this amount of juice. And this person doesn't tell me that and come to find out. And this is, no, I don't care. They were taking produce. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I found out because I did the work first.
Yeah, so you guys know your business inside and out. So when someone says to you, I couldn't answer those 50 emails in one day, you like, what? Yeah. I did that for virtual learning?
I answered them calls while having the baby because she had left to go with the other 2 kids to go deposit money. So I'm apologizing to people on the phone. I'm sorry if you hear my my 8-month-old, you know, I'm home alone right now, and they ain't so surprising. They're like, "Oh, don't I know how it is? I gotta tell."
Right.
Especially now with the
It's
pandemic.
just transparency.
Yeah.
Just being transparent. And let me say this before as transparency goes before. Anybody that like that's just the situation I'm talking about. If someone has to take food, just fucking ask, dog. Like it's not that fucking serious.
But everybody doesn't know how to humble themselves to ask. So that's hard. That's hard to do, especially for a man. It's really hard to do. But one of the things that you guys do keep bringing up is right now with the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
And being entrepreneurs and parents during the pandemic. How I mean, congratulations on still being successful and in business, because a lot of people are having a hard time right now. But how is it managing everything where the kids are not away? Because technically you should be able to take 2 kids to school and maybe daycare if you want.
Right.
But at least 2. Wait, hold on. Is Aiden old enough to go to school yet?
She's in school.
Yeah, see? So now it's like where you thought, okay, these 2 are going to go here. Then I'll just have this one. Now it's everyone in the house. How is this operating?
Her answer is going to sum it up in the size of her wine glass. The size of this wine glass should sum up how it's been.
Yo. Listen, I
Y'all can't tell this wine glass is massive.
That this wine glass will literally hold an entire bottle of wine. It's
wow.
You just be like,
I only have 1 glass of wine today, guys. Just one.
That won't be my story.
Congratulations.
Good for you, girl.
That's how it is. One glass of wine, everyone.
Her one is like 3. That's like 3 of them in one though.
Only 1 glass.
But I'll let her answer it because she's been more hands-on with schooling than I am. I'm still working.
Let's hear from Tanesia.
Disclaimer that of course I love my children, but real talk is that it has been pure and unadulterated hell.
Right.
I can't imagine.
The baby doesn't sleep. This one gets up and down still at night, which is probably why she's asleep right now.
Right.
Me too, girl, me too. Homeschool or virtual school, that is a shit show.
And y'all ain't even heard her talk like this before. So you
haven't, never.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
Dimples? That's shit show.
It is a lot going on. I was gonna say Patrice, but yeah.
Been in the kitchen before. Like, no, we've talked like this.
Yes.
Well, I already know her mouth, so hey.
I've heard the shit shows. I love the colorful way that Tanesia speaks.
She does.
Keep going.
Yes, it is the shittiest of shit shows over here. And yeah, I'm hoping that I make it one day after the next.
So okay.
You feel like I'm day to day, any fucking day.
Let me ask you a question because
a lot of coffee.
A lot, like I'm gonna have coffee after this wine. That's
a lot of alcohol.
And just like this. This is all the coffee and wine. No, it's all good. But listen.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
Let me tell you how beautiful this is. Because
it's not beautiful, she said.
No, I'm gonna tell you why it's.
She said it's not beautiful.
I like to find the silver linings in everything.
She's tried already. There's no more silver linings left.
Let me try to give her a silver line. An attempt at a silver line.
He gonna give you your silver line. Let's
see, like, no, it's still the shittiest of the shitty.
She's listening.
Even through the muck and the murder, the lotus flower always blooms. So through the muck and the myrrh of everything you're going through, you guys are still closing on deals.
True.
So you have to be blessed in the middle of this storm because it's a beautiful thing to see and witness. And that's why we do this, because everyone sees the duck on gliding across the water, but underneath the surface, the duck's feet is doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like this show shows like people want to be entrepreneurs, people want to take these journeys, but
It's a lot of paddling going
it's
on.
not for everybody.
It's not.
No.
It's not for everybody. It's 24/7.
Yeah.
And because I do, Dan, you're very right with your silver lining, and we do always talk about the fact that honest, God is good. He's been
Yeah.
he's being good to us
All the time.
And all the time,
God is good.
won't he do it?
Are healthy. You know, our bills are paid.
Mhm.
The fact that our business has not suffered, and if I'm being completely honest, has flourished a little bit in certain places.
Wow.
And
A
I
little
do
bit of
think,
modesty, a little bit.
and I do think, you know, it has a lot to do with how hard we work and the preparation and certain things that, like you said, we do ourselves, where, you know, at times, especially when things were really on lockdown, where you couldn't interact with people or certain things couldn't happen, if we weren't accustomed to already doing our own work, we might have been in those spaces drowning, not knowing what to do now.
Yeah.
Because we've always done it all. You know, you do what you have to do. And like you said, it's a season, it's a time, it'll pass. But I think that's what has helped us, you know, stay afloat and still kind of do well.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, and even in the midst of the pandemic, you guys started a whole nother business.
oh yeah.
Well, that was right before the pandemic started.
Okay.
At the beginning of March.
So what is this new business venture that you guys are on?
So the new business, we started a vending machine business. So we're looking to place vending machines such as beverages and snacks into facilities free of charge to the facility, and we just maintain it. And so that is a business that's majority owned by the ladies in the household, Tanesia, Avery, and Aiden. So they a fully woman-owned business.
I mean, we let him work with us a little bit or whatever, but you know,
he do some heavy lifting and stuff, you know.
A little bit of
what can I say?
You gotta go stock the machines every now and again. So I guess we gotta cut him in some way.
So what made you guys decide to do a vending machine business?
Well, it's like social media. Like I will say, social media has opened our eyes to things that we didn't know were available to us. And looking at it, it's like I feel like we have been led astray all these years. Like I've learned the most of my life post 30.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my goodness. The
really
last 3 years has for real. The last 3 years have been overload. And it's like, why? Why were people lying to me? Why?
Well, it's not even just, but you know,
I don't think that and I read a book called The 7 Jewish Phenomenons. And it opened my eyes to why my parents, our grandparents, and our great-grandparents didn't teach it to us. And it made me mad for a second until I continued to read. And it's because they didn't know either. So you got to realize our great-great-grandparents were right out of slavery. So at that point, they had to do what they had to do to make ends meet, to feed their families. So from there, they told their next generation, they got to work to feed their families. So what time free time do they have to learn these extra things? So fast forward to our grandparents, that's the point where they're now able to, some of them are able to get into establishments to work with white people, the government and things of that nature. And then they're working 2 or 3 jobs because they have 7 to 10 children. What time are they going to have to learn this extra stuff? Then going to our parents. Well, they see, all right, well, I'm not trying to work as hard. Now the racial divide has lessened some. So now all I knew is federal government. My grandparents were all in the federal government. So growing up, all I knew is let me go to school.
Get a good government job.
Go ahead and get a college degree, and I come back home and get a good government job and buy a house. That's the American dream.
But you know what? Even that American dream is limited to our region.
Right.
Because when you leave outside of the DMV area, you know, I got a good old government job too. I don't know how they trust me with this shit, but I drive big red fire trucks through the goddamn city of DC.
Because you do your job well.
I do my job. I mean, anything I do, I do well.
This is
Everything I do well. So,
but yeah, it's like
she's my anchor, man. She be catching me.
our elders didn't have time to learn all this stuff.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
don't have time to learn it. It's just one generation passing down to the next generation, and we really aren't gaining much. So at some point, one generation has to take the initiative to stop the cycle.
Break the curse.
Right.
To add in our parents' generations and things like that, that we also have to recognize our privilege in our generation.
Yes.
As much as we are held back and still have a lot of progress to make,
Right.
we have room to do certain things that our parents could have been killed for.
Yeah.
Literally.
South Carolina. And my father, I always say this because it's shocking to me every time I say it. My father's birth certificate says Negro.
Wow.
And I remember seeing that, and I was like, what?
It's like 1 degree away from bigger.
Wow.
Yes. I'm like, do you feel some kind of way about the fact that your birth certificate says Negro?
So we don't even see, that's not, we weren't allowed to read not that long ago. So we should all take pride of getting information.
And that's why it's one of those things where for them, going to college and assimilating and things like that, that was doing something that their parents couldn't do and didn't have.
Right.
And of course, that kind of became their rallying cry, like get a house, save your money, go to college. Because at that time, it made sense.
That's all they knew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we actually had a similar conversation like this our last show. And we were saying that we're not so far removed that we kind of, in a way, have to be a little bit kinder to us as a people because we're not so far removed from everything that's happened. Right. So of course we're not where other
ethnicity.
Yeah, where they are because we're playing catch up.
We're just learning.
We're just now getting the freedom, like you said, in our generation, the freedom to even attempt to be an entrepreneur. So like it's like, let's just, take the time to be like, it's okay. We're growing. As long as we just keep going forward, we'll be there.
But the beautiful thing about us is this. Once we learn something, we master it. Look at the quarterbacks in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
It's changing.
Yeah. But the reality is that's been their problem with us all along is that we're bomb at doing everything.
Whatever.
Everything.
Because we know when
we're strong.
We're resilient.
Like
resilient.
I just learned the other day that it was a Black man whose artistry did like the Hollywood Hills signs. So the signs in the Hollywood Hills and a lot of houses. A lot of hi, Baba.
Someone just woke up.
Hi.
She said, what's going on? I heard y'all laughing.
There's too much laughter going on.
I heard you laughing.
A lot of houses and things like that. He did the architecture, and not only did he do it, he had to learn to draw upside down because his white clients wouldn't sit next to him.
Hey man, when you hear these type of stories, it makes you think, what did anybody else create in this world?
What did anybody else do? But
you know what they did? They learned from us.
We're lazy and we did nothing.
And that's why
when we create it, they just take it and master and just take it and
they take it away from us.
Exactly.
They take
it.
They take it. It's just
so that it doesn't even look like ours anymore. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, but even if you look at hip hop right now, it's so far from where it used to be.
I don't know.
No. It's a lot going on.
It's far from the beginning.
From the beginning, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a lot more colorful.
It's deceiving and manipulative.
Definitely deceiving. It's deceiving if you don't understand that it's entertainment.
Right.
When you understand it, I think the problem is some people take it as reality. But if we've been in those circumstances, it's entertainment because nothing happens like that in real life because we've been around it. It don't happen like the rap songs in the movies make. It's entertainment. You have to know that you can dance to it, do a boogie oogie to it, but like.
I say this all the time. It's very controversial, and I don't care who doesn't like it. But Tupac was one of the biggest actors on the face of the earth.
He's an entertainer.
He's an entertainer. He was not a gangster rapper. I saw a video of Tupac in high school, and he was like, "Yeah, I just love putting on performances and dancing and singing."
You're not going to be Tupac.
But he was an artist. He
went to a Duke Ellington school in Baltimore, and he was an entertainer. And a lot of people look at Tupac for this thug life, but he was playing a part.
But ask her about Nas.
I'm sorry.
Ask her about Nas.
Nas never played anything but what he was. He actually rapped about.
He's a poet.
He was a storyteller, and he also gave a lot of nuggets to people.
Yeah, he did.
Through his music.
But Tupac did too, though, in his way.
Tupac
He was
straight.
talking to another
He's
He's
straight. It's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point that I'm making is that
you're not gonna have a Tupac argument right here.
He's not thug life, and a lot of people know him. A lot of people is, the whole gangster rap situation all started with Tupac and Biggie Smalls, and like that's really not even what you're about. You're acting right now. Like, relax, get off, like, stop it. And so it caused a lot of ruckus, but he was an entertainer. He wasn't really living that life. That's what I'm saying.
And I think too, the moral of the story, either way, even though I'm with you, Patrice, but the moral of the story, either way, is that that's why we have to be the teachers of our children in our homes, because then it doesn't matter whether Tupac was real or whether Tupac was fake or acting or entertaining, because that's not where they're looking. Just like Lil Wayne, and everybody's outraged with him and talking about voting and things like that. But it's like, at the end of the day, I'm not looking to, I don't care who Lil Wayne voted for.
Yeah, because my kids should be
Lil Wayne about who he's voting for. So that doesn't matter to me. And at the end of the day, honestly, what he said, though hurtful and divisive publicly, is his truth, because Lil Wayne has had money and been a part of something that's not been real life since he was a literal child.
Yeah, 16.
So,
yeah.
So I don't think he's dealt with things like a regular Black child or regular Black man would have. His life has been very white adjacent man with money.
Right. So they're asking him to relate to a culture that
he doesn't want
to. Yeah.
And that's his truth. We can't be mad about that. That is his truth.
And it's important for us to create the narrative in our own homes.
Yes. My kids shouldn't care nothing about who Lil Wayne is voting for.
Yeah. And see, and that's the thing when we taught Kaylin
about real estate in school.
Right.
Yeah. And see, we taught Kaylin Kier to be entertained by these people.
Yeah. Like, they listen to it, but they literally know. They were like, listen, they got family that so they've seen, not seen, but they know what they know.
Yeah, I'm talking about, they're just
they know real life and they know the difference between real life and entertainment.
Yeah. They really do. Kaylin Kier do. That's the beauty about like you said, taking ownership of your home. And that's one of the things that when we started I Am Whole, it stood for, which was first you work on yourself, and then you work on your family, and your family then bleeds out to the community. Yeah. But it first has to start with you. And then
you have to be whole first.
Yeah.
And like I said, if we're planting a bunch of whole people in whole families, the community gets the benefit by default. It's just like what they say about parents. If the parents are good, the kids are going to be good by default. So you don't have to put as much work into your community if you've put it in your home.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Take your home out into the community. That's
You're absolutely correct. And that's how you could, you're absolutely correct. We could go on and on and on with this, really. So how do you guys keep your family together? This work environment, this school environment, we have this newborn baby. What do you guys do to help you guys move forward on a daily basis?
A lot of alcohol and coffee.
Listen, is it inappropriate for me to say right now COVID is doing the work for us? I mean, we don't got nowhere else to go.
Hey, y'all make this beautiful story sound so real.
I mean, I guess maybe we can, if I can try to think back pre-COVID so long ago.
It does. Doesn't it seem like it was like 10 years ago? that we all were like walking outside without masks?
It's going on almost a year.
She's 8 months old, and when I had her in the hospital on March 26th, we did not have to wear masks. We were all up and through the hospital. We had to get temperature checks, but that was it. Once they checked your temperature, then they brought you in, and no one had on a mask. And it was like 2 weeks. It wasn't even 2 weeks later when they were like, "Oh, actually, everybody wear masks."
Wow.
So does it make you feel like? Because look. I walked to the Wagner's the other day and almost got into an argument because I forgot my mask in the car. And I'm talking about it, like, you can't come here without a mask. Like, what you mean? Oh. But it's just like, I hate this shit. I hate it. But
But why are we still in this?
Because Dan won't put on his mask.
Because people feel too privileged.
Cover his nose. He married a diaper.
Wear the mask. We could have been out. We could have had a summer if people just wore masks and did what they were supposed to do. We could have had a summer. But people feel too privileged to want to stay home, or it shows that they don't really like their home. That's why they don't want to stay home.
Absolutely.
And here we are, almost a year into this.
Yeah.
But we're the strongest country in this world, right?
We're literally the country with the most deaths. Apparently, COVID is the number one rate of death in the US now. Not heart disease, it's COVID. And no other country, not even third world countries, have had as many people die as us.
Wow.
Yep. This is why we stay in a house, because we
can't
control the outside environment there.
Yeah, that's true.
We can control what goes on in this house.
Because I lost a cousin, my first cousin, and my uncle got sick.
Cousin too.
And in a matter of not even 2 weeks, it was like they're on ventilators.
Yeah.
Now they have to get dialysis. And it was just kind of like.
And they were all in the same house.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was a family that my aunt got it, my uncle got it. Both of their kids who are grown, but they got it. But my one cousin and my one uncle, they got hospitalized and they died. They never,
oh my goodness.
They never woke back up off the ventilator.
Sorry to hear that.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't even know that my cousin had died. When she died first, and he was still on the ventilator unconscious, and then he died probably a couple days later.
It's been a sad year, and if anyone has lost a loved one this year, it's been the worst type of experience.
You can't even bury them the way you're accustomed to bury them.
Yeah, you can't bury them.
It's just shocking that 1 second someone's here, and then the next second they're just not.
Yeah. And if anybody that's experienced it, and even if it wasn't from COVID, if you've just experienced the effects of COVID on how they're dealing with someone they passed, it's just some different shit. And it's just like,
it's been hard.
It's unreal right now what we're going through.
I'm not gonna lie, even the whole which we all should have known this year was gonna suck, the Kobe stuff.
Yeah, right.
Sad Like obviously we didn't know them, but I feel that I still can sit and feel damn.
What a year, right?
Like that, those were huge losses, to our community, to it's just damn, I don't even know what to say, but it's it compounds everything else going on.
Yeah.
So, on social media, every December 31st, that girl walking up the steps with that bag, she did not see 2020 coming. We should have tripped her ass up.
We should have beat her down with that bag.
Hey, listen, leading up to 2020, everybody on social media is 2020 vision, seeing everything clear. This will be my year.
Nobody saw this.
We were we owe 2019 an apology.
2020 is all cloudy.
We didn't do.
Oh my God.
You know what? You're right. We do owe 2019.
We got arrogant. We got a little bit arrogant. I know 2020 gonna be my year. And God said, and the Most High said, you don't know shit.
Okay.
You sit your ass down.
Right.
Sit, be still, and know that I am God.
For real, full control.
And if you wasn't in control of your own life, you're struggling. But if you've been in control and been responsible you're okay, but it can be better. Like we're blessed right now. I swear, like to be in a position that we're in, I'm thankful. So I can't gloat and brag and talk about. No, we're blessed because there's so many people going without right now that the fact that I could just grab a bottle of wine and just drink it. And today, if I say I want to eat whatever I want to eat, I can do it. If I want to treat my friends to something, I can do it. That's a blessing in itself because some people don't even have income.
No.
Right.
And the thing is, it's a lot of people too who were not even lower income people. You have a lot of middle class people who were living real, good that just are now homeless, are now seeking out places to eat. This really, this has changed everything.
And it's also separated like corporations from small businesses. And I think now more than ever is the time to support Black businesses, right? Now more than ever is the time to support the people that listen, they need your support. It's not about, the corporations are good. They're going to get their fucking write-offs. They're going to have everything going on. And one thing about the Nelsons, you guys support Black business.
Yeah.
So let's explain the importance of supporting Black business and the importance of the Black dollar.
Well, I mean, our history has shown us, when we keep our money in our communities, we become powerful beyond measures. Mm-hmm. How many communities have created millionaires? Well, they talk about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but there's been so many other towns. I mean, U Street, they used to call I can't remember, but U Street was pretty popular here. Georgetown was deemed a poor neighborhood because it was by the water.
Right. And it was U Street was Black Broadway.
Black Broadway, yes. Thank you. Yes. And Georgetown was nothing but us there because they deemed it poor because it was by the water. Mm-hmm. Now look at it.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Can't even buy a house for under $1 million over there now.
The thing is, it's the exact same thing that they're doing now. Anything that we have, because we are lit,
they devalue it.
We are. Everything we do is something for real.
Yeah,
everything we touch, everything we have going on, everything we do is something. And they try to make us think it's nothing. Then they come in and take it.
Yeah.
They devalue where we live and what we have. Then they come in and buy it and then turn it into what they want it to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the formula. It's always been.
It's a cycle. If you go back and look, it's the cycle. It repeats itself time and time again. So we have to learn now to look at what the other nationalities are doing. They keep their money within their own people, within their own communities somewhat. Whereas what the statistics shows, Black people get their checks and it's gone within 6 hours. So we make sure every time we get paid, we spend it in Black restaurants, Black stores. And it's so dope that we have friends that have these companies. So I'm spending not just with a small Black owned business, but to a friend. You know what I mean? Like the clothing line I have on, Spread the Love. My man Chris grew up in Riggs Park with me across the street. Now look at him now. You know what I mean? For him.
He has an amazing story too, man. I really want to bring him on the show as well.
You know what I mean?
With his brother, his son, like his father, everything he's gone through, and he's still pushing. And his clothing line is spreading love. That's the story in itself.
And then what other businesses? The Spice Suite. Culture Coffee too. A Black woman-owned shop, coffee shop came into my neighborhood in Riggs. And then within this business that we do with real estate, I have friends that are a realtor. I've known her since 2003. So if I know somebody, why am I going to go out and find a realtor? I'm going to use you. We're going to grow together. She put us on the other Black people in this realm for inspectors, contractors, loan officers. So again, we got to find ways to make a valid effort to spend money with our own people. Because again, they say, according to the Nielsen Group, the statistic is we have the highest buying power ever across any nationality. So if we use that buying power to spend it with people that look like our own hue, what are they going to do?
And what you're saying is not even just your own hue, but it's people you know within yourself.
We spend people, the Eat brand. I know them. You know what I mean? Before Eat. It's a boatload of others. Zen in the Jar.
Yeah.
Y'all, you know what I mean? And again, I buy their stuff to give to them for Christmases. My
Yeah.
members have restaurants. We go to them. You know, if we got to cater, her brother-in-law and her father-in-law have a restaurant. We get stuff catered from our own family and our own friends.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
Yeah.
That's how we have to go back and do it again and forget all this stuff that they're putting on TV. TV is meant to manipulate us. That's why they put the stuff in the books for us to read.
Amen. Hey, listen.
In the books for us to read.
That's why they put things in the books for us to read. And now, even reading, you don't even have an excuse not to read now because, like we said earlier, and they have audio books. So are you using your social media and your time on the internet to value yourself? Yeah. Or are you using your time and your energy in social media and the internet?
Like I've learned so much through social media. Like, so we've learned so much from other real estate. I'm gonna call them moguls because they're way beyond what we're doing now. Kendra from the Key Resource, Packy and Sandy from the Hood Estates, and Charles and Kiara in Baltimore. Just by following them, they're giving free information on their IG lives.
Free all the time.
You know what I mean? So I took notes, sat down and watched their lives. We, patronized them and bought their courses because their courses are teaching the mistakes that they did. It's all a wealth of knowledge. And then from there, I met so many other people from Ohio, Nita, House Hunters 314 in Ohio, and Charles Ogilvy, I can't remember his handle on IG. He's changed it so much. Todd Billionaire.
You know
Todd Capital.
Todd Capital.
This pandemic alone, I learned how to do options trading. I knew about the stock market, knew nothing of options trading. So
we took a course on options trading, and we're looking right now like, oh, this is what a portfolio is. Like,
so
that's a whole nother world.
Social media. I've learned all of these things to make our mental intellect so much better. Again, post 30.
And that's called, and now what you're creating yourself is intellectual property. Intellectual property. And people don't realize the value of intellectual property. Like even with, like you said, with stocks, and you can learn all of these tricks and all these trades and apply them to your everyday life. And after 30, you learn. This is what me and Patrice always say, and I'm so now you had your ears earlier, but I like my daughters right now, while we're coming on this information, next week they turn 18. Like everything we know as far as what we didn't know. Me and Patrice had our first apartment at 19 years old. We was living in Kaywood Gardens. We was the party house. We was the kickback spot because we were so young with an apartment. So everybody used to come over our spot. So we were spending money. But now our daughters are turning 18. So they're going to be privy to so much more that we didn't know at that age. So by the time we're 38 now, by the time they're 38, oh my God, where are they going to be?
Yeah.
It's limitless.
These generations.
The limit.
Yeah.
I told them next week, I said, look, you turn 18, we're going to get you, we're going to start with you getting a secure line of credit, and we're going to build your credit from 18 years old. Yep. I said, you know what? I was joking, but I was serious. You're going to be co-signing for shit for your father. Because you're going to be straight by the time you're 25 years old because all the mistakes we made. One of the things we did that people say would be fucked up to have kids young, but all the mistakes, we're able to pour into our daughters. And they're our friends at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to seeing where they go. And I know your kids are getting all kind of, oh man.
Our kids, this next generation with our kids, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I agree.
Because one, they're going to be fearless, but they're going to be filled with so much knowledge that they're going to be stoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at like just our friend group and the people that Kayla and Kiera know, like now that they're a little bit older and they're starting to understand money and what jobs are and careers are and being an entrepreneur and stuff. So when we start talking to them about different people, you guys and other friends, and they're like, wow, so they're surrounded by like
they don't even think how we think.
They don't even think about getting a government job. They really haven't thought about that. They're trying to figure out, their main thing is kids. They want to figure out how to do something with children. So of course they're thinking about social work, and Kayla social work, and Kiera thinking about being a therapist. But when they think about those positions, they're not necessarily thinking about being
working for somebody.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out what they can create on their own.
Yeah, they're like trying to.
Their mindset is like completely different.
They're trying to create like a. Yeah, they're not even thinking about being a social worker to go, because people like, social workers don't make money. No, we're not going into that. To go work for somebody. They're going into it to be able to start something of their own. And we are definitely will be in position to create it for them, and it'll be there.
And it's not bad.
The difference is now mom and dad will be able to be the bank. You don't have to go and beg another institution to give me money.
Yeah.
That's how we get further in the hole.
Exactly.
Mom and dad now can going to college if they choose to, where now they don't have to be bombarded with student loan debt when they come out, which then will impact them on getting business loans or to buy a home for themselves, which can take off their wealth journey. All that is negated now because mom and dad can be the bank. That's what our other counterparts already have had for two or three generations.
2 or 3 forever.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's the freedom. Like even like now with the girls, their last 2 summer jobs were with friends of ours who had their own business that were able to hire them to work. So they're like, wait, this person is hiring me that comes over our house and has dinner. It's like, yeah, you never know. So their whole thought process of being a business owner is like, oh,
provide opportunity. Mm-hmm. They're not even looking at it like I'm starting a business to make money. What I preach is we should all, in our circle was very good. We should all be in position to, when our kids get up, any type of opportunity that our kids want, we're able to provide them. So that gives them their minds the freedom to take journey and take flight, where we were just trying to find a way.
Yeah.
Yep.
We found a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is one more thing I wanted to ask y'all, right? And we're getting close to the end, but like, one of the things that I respect about you guys is you guys, the way you operate is very similar to us. And I left an $80,000 job a year to start out in business, only to come back, making more now, but I came back because I realized that really you still need that for myself. Is we created a hybrid situation. For entrepreneurs, well, our hybrid situation is I can go because I have a career that allows me to have retirement, that allows us, that takes care of us. And Patrice now has the freedom to be able to be free and do what she wants to do. So whatever business we take on, she could be at home doing the admin stuff. She can make the phone calls and the faxes where I'm somewhere else. And I know you guys have a similar situation. So speak on how do you make your situation work? Because we hear entrepreneur and everybody just says, throw your job away and be an entrepreneur. But like, at the end of the day, you need to we created a balanced type of system. And like, how do you guys make it work being entrepreneurs?
But also 9-to-5ers.
I mean, well, I'm the 9-to-5er. She gave them the deuce. But I feel like you have to be calculated and have a plan. And we're not at a point to where all our assets or our business covers all our expenses. So that's the goal. You know what I mean? When we get to that point to where all our business endeavors will cover our expenses, then now I can start having a conversation, or maybe time for me to leave my job, because now maybe my job is costing me to miss more money for our business. See what I mean? I'm not there yet. So why make matters harder for us to have to struggle when we can still run a business, because now she has freed up time because she no longer has a 9 to 5.
Right.
We allow my 9 to 5 to fund all our business endeavors.
Yeah.
I also think there's the understanding of, like we said, like with the girls, your girls who are still 8, that they'll have a totally different mindset. And so ultimately the mindset is what's more important than what they're doing at the moment. Maybe they work for someone as social workers for a second to see how things work in a corporate environment, use that somewhere else. Or some people, I know there's a young lady I follow on Instagram whose side hustle, I guess, thrives, but she likes her job. Like what she went to school to do. She has a high up position. So for her, it's just, that's another stream of income. And if something were to happen, if somebody came to her and said, "You're fired," she'll be fine.
Right.
I honestly feel that way about him. I used to say that all the time, that he was one of the few people, maybe only people, that I knew of where I felt like he liked his job.
Because even though I'm in tech, I do customer service from the contracting system. So it goes with my person. I'm a people person. So I've catered how I do my job to assist people beyond the call of duty. I could call or email them, but I simply go around the corner on the same floor and I walk them through the steps on how to get something done.
You don't mind doing it. You don't mind doing what you do.
Exactly. So I like it because I'm around people.
If you're making money,
I don't have a problem with my job.
Yeah, and like Dan said, if you're making money, our healthcare is paid for, all those kinds of things, and it's not causing a problem, then it's the ability to choose. It's the ability to chart your course, whichever way you want it to go, to be able to maybe 5 years from now say, actually, I am done here. I'm going to go.
Right.
Like that's what you want for the girls, and that's what we want for our life. And that you all have, like you said, I think there's still a lot of flexibility with you, Dan, being at the firehouse and your off days, on days, things like that.
It's beautiful.
My shit is right now, it's better than it's ever been.
I think he actually enjoys his job probably just as much as James does.
Yeah, I actually got promoted. When I came back, I got promoted to a technician, and I love to drive. We take road trips all the time. My responsibility is to drive the fire truck, and where I'm driving at is literally in the neighborhood that I grew up in.
Yeah, so for him, it was like, why not? Like,
I'm driving the fire truck through the neighborhood I grew up in, and my dad was a firefighter. So, and my dad used to drive the fire truck. So for me, and they pay me good fucking money.
He's living out his childhood dream of being a fireman.
I'm just driving his fire truck, and I still get to have all the other business ventures that I have. Because I only got to go to work 2 days out the week.
Yeah. Like, why don't you not do that? Like one day maybe you'll feel like, hey, I want those 2 days back, and that's where my money's at.
now, if one of these endeavors we have takes off, and like you said, it don't make sense no more to go drive a fire truck. And I'm like, shit, I can't come in 24 hours 2 times a week because I got some influx coming in. But it would have to be serious because I take a pension for the rest of my life.
I mean, at the end of the day, though, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. A 9 to 5 isn't for everybody. So I'm not going to sit up here and say, man, you need to quit your job. I would never tell anybody that. You have to analyze what's the best situation for you. Make a plan, write down your goals, and find it, and that'll help you get to where you want to be.
And that's I think we had to release that with Kayla and Kiara, just realizing like they're going to take their own path to figure out what it is that they want to do. And just to be there, we're just happy to be able to be there to support them on that journey, whichever way it goes. So we're just going to set them up in the background.
Thankful to be able to be in a position to do that, because a lot of us ain't even in position to put our kids in the trajectory that we're all in our circle are able to put our kids in. And that's not to brag, because this shit didn't come easy. We were 19 years old with a fucking 1-bedroom apartment. We struggled. You know what I mean? So like, I'll never sit here, and we still ain't where we want to be. Nowhere near where we want to be. but I will never sit here because of where we are and act any type of way because I know where we come from.
Yeah.
And how we grew up. Both of us. You know what I mean? So shit. I had a coach that got me into a fucking school that was able to have me think different than the people in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like you went to St. John's, you know, so
and the thing about it, me going to, I remember they took me out of, once I finished public DCPS in 6th grade, I was in St. John's from 7th to 8th. So I was on the E4 bus while my classmates I just graduated with were getting on the bus coming from Pole. So I'm seeing
driving down Kennedy Street on the bus.
Yep. And I'm like, hey, you know, and what happened to you the following year? I mean, they put me in private school.
Oh, wow.
And it's crazy.
Back then, I didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
I remember exactly when I appreciated going to a private school, getting the type of education I got was my freshman year in college. Since I knew I was going to transfer to either Morehouse or Clark, I just took the basic courses and didn't test out of them just to boost my GPA up in hopes I can get a scholarship. So I'm basic math and English, and so we got to do an 8-page paper. Well, I've been doing 8-page papers since 8th and 9th grade. Yeah. So in freshman in college, I'm just doing it the night before. But people were really struggling to do y equals mx plus b and to compile an 8-page paper. At that moment, I realized why my parents took me out of DCPS in the mid-90s and put me in private school. So I had to swallow my pride, and I called my parents and I thanked them for it.
Yeah. I never thanked my parents for this. I never did. So look, let me tell you, that's how she found out I was smart. That's when she really liked me. That's when she really liked me. So we went to Virginia State, right? And like you said, we writing 8, 10-page papers and dissertations in freshman year, right? So I'm just regular ass nigga.
He calls me, no, he's not a regular ass nigga. They actually call him drunk ass Dane.
Back then.
Drunk ass nigga in college. So for some reason, I don't even know why.
It was fitting back then.
Why am I even talking to somebody named drunk ass nigga? Nonetheless,
because I did that. I do that. I know what she likes.
So anyway, like, hey, you gonna help me type up my paper? So I thought when you said type up his paper, I was prepared to actually write the paper.
Write the paper.
Like, I'm going to be writing this paper. Let's see what you have. So I'm in the computer room and I'm typing this paper and I'm like, who wrote this? Who wrote this paper? Like, you gonna bring me some shit some other bitch wrote? Like, what is this, right? This nigga tripping. So he was like, I wrote it. So I'm like, okay. So I'm still typing, right? I'm still typing. And then as we're typing, we begin to edit it as I'm typing. And that's where I actually believe that he actually wrote it. Yeah. Because the words he was giving back to me to edit, I was like, well, wait a minute. So then I was like, hold up. You might not just be my little personal friend. You could be my man. What's going on?
And then she like, benefits. And then
you're now my boyfriend. Thank you.
Strong on you.
I did. At first he was just my friend with benefits, but now you're my boyfriend. Thank you. I'm placing ownership over this.
I thought you was a dumb nigga, but you actually have a brain inside this fucking drunk ass head. Thank you. That's my brain. I'll type your papers. And she still typed my papers to this day. And that's how we were. So look, that's our divine story, and we love y'all. And we can start wrapping this up. This has been a great conversation. I think a lot of nuggets have been given, and that's the purpose of this. And it's why we wanted to call y'all.
Thanks for being our first Zoom.
Thanks for being our first Zoom. It's beautiful to get this, you know, leading up to it. Everybody else ain't gonna see it once all this is edited, but it's beautiful to get all that out the way with people you know and you love and you trust. And I appreciate y'all for being here. What's up next for the Nelsons? What's up next?
That you can tell us.
Because I know you guys got all kind of shit you can't tell everybody.
Yeah.
Like what you said was semi-success.
I mean, listen, nothing crazy, just potentially, we just sold a property.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And potentially about to pay off student loans and be done for life.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
that's some free money there.
Real estate can get you out of debt.
So did y'all use this this property almost like a game of Monopoly? It sounds like you was like cash out.
Yeah.
Cash out. Like
I mean, so we had that property for 2 years. That was our very first property.
Wow.
You know, and the market went booming, and it's booming in Capitol Heights. So we was like, all right, well, out of all our properties, that was making
That's
we
right.
cashed out.
Yeah, he agrees. She said we cashed out.
Out of all our properties, it was making us the lease in rental income. So we like, all right, well,
but it was gonna make us quite a bit
if we sold it.
Yeah.
So we had a tenant, and that tenant we had, he was phenomenal. So we didn't really want. He was phenomenal, right? So we didn't. So we looked at it like, all right, well, let's create an opportunity. He was trying to buy a house, so we tried to work things out the way he could buy it, but he wasn't at the point yet to where he could go to the bank and get the loan. So unfortunately, we couldn't sell it to him. But so we went to our realtor, and another young lady who's a first-time home buyer was able to get it. So still provided our opportunity, but through another means.
Wow.
That's good. So you're providing people opportunity. So you're using, like I said, man, when you get to a certain place, you're using your blessings to bless others, man.
Yeah.
We love the Nelsons, man, and I think we can close on that positive note. I think what you guys are doing in your community are beautiful. I think the example you set for families are beautiful. And I guess the last question, as always, is
who would you guys like to see up next, or who would you recommend to come up next on Divine
Not
Purpose?
next, but whenever. Who would you like to see on Divine Purpose?
Well, we already spoke on him. Chris Bolden from Riggs. The owner, creator of Spread the Love. Mm-hmm. He also has a children's line that he named after his son. I'm Angel from the Spice Suite. Mm-hmm. If you still want to go clothing, Malik Jarrett from Eat, and his brother Melvin Ward.
They went to Virginia State too, right?
I believe Malik did. Who else could come? There's so many people we named that we follow that are Black owned. Man, it's so many other people.
I'm gonna take those. We're gonna take those.
So we're gonna go,
and we're gonna tag all those people that you guys mentioned.
So we said Eat, we said Spice Suite, and we said Spread the Love. Okay. Got it. Angel, Melvin, and Chris.
Also, if you want to go the real estate route, our realtor Tonetta Listener.
Oh yeah.
And we have Black owned. We have some contractors. You want to see what it's like? Black owned contractor.
We might have to do a whole real estate series.
You know what? Yeah, we're gonna do a series.
Yeah, we might have to do that. Let's talk about maybe try to do like a series.
And we probably could do that with you guys. Let's talk about how we can do a series on like real estate and bringing people on.
So it'll be actually like from beginning to end, from buying a home, from becoming an investor, or like
from different perspectives, like an investing perspective, a real estate agent perspective, a contractor perspective.
Yeah, that would be a good series to do. We gotta pick a month. Is there a real estate month? Do you guys have like a month?
You can make one.
I think so, not that I know of.
Every month is real estate month.
Every fucking month.
We try and get to a point where it's Christmas every day.
Okay, all right. Beautiful. So we're gonna pick a month and we can do that as a whole series.
Cool.
So I will say historically, real estate has picked up boom in the summer months.
Okay. Cool. So maybe probably in the spring.
Okay. So I'm going with the final thoughts.
Yes, your final thoughts.
Final thoughts from this episode.
Bear with us, guys, because sometimes these final thoughts can get tricky.
I'm actually good today. I'm
long-winded by nature.
He be trying to do his red run like he's sitting in the tub with his little
with a sidekick. My final thoughts for today are going to be very simple. This has been another episode of Divine Purpose, and these are my final thoughts. Look at your circle, and you will see where you are going. If you have anybody, you look around, they're going where you're not going to go, or if you are around them, and every time you're around them, you're deteriorating, or you're just stagnant, or you're just staying where you are, then that's a circle you don't need to be in. But if you look around your circle and people are always progressing, people are always elevating, people are always encouraging you, you are not the highest in your circle. That is the circle that you need to be in. Never forget to continue to learn, because the first thing to perfection is growth. And this has been another episode of Divine Purpose. Those are my final thoughts. We love, we thank you, and we honor and we praise the Nelsons. Thank you for having us, and well, thank us for having you. I don't know how you say that shit.
Thanks for having us.
There you go. That's it.